one big thing.
We begin by inserting another segment we occasionally do on the show into this one. It's called Headline or Storyline. Wednesday's headline was that finally collegiate athletes are going to be able to get paid for their name, image, and likeness. And it's a biggie. But the way things work these days in terms of people's attention span and attention to detail, the headline will be what people see and assume it means it's so. The storyline is that it is not, at least not yet. The NCAA's Board of Governors supported this rule change Wednesday. It won't be voted on or be in place until 2021. So this is closer than it was, but it's not here. The NCAA tweeted that the Board of Governors moves toward allowing student-athlete compensation for endorsements and promotions. Jay Billis, a longtime critic of the NCAA's business model, said on Twitter Wednesday, moves toward. Nothing will happen until after at least January 2021. Simply put, that's too long. The NCAA has been woefully behind on these issues. It's simple. Athletes should be allowed full economic rights. If a student can do it, an athlete should be allowed to do it. And I agree with Jay on this. But what happens when it happens? What will it look like? Well, you could do a television or radio spot for local business. You could do an autograph signing. You can be a social media influencer. There are plenty of things that athletes can do. What they cannot do is use school or conference logos. Schools can't make these payments and they can't help facilitate the payment. But let's all be grown-ups here for a moment, shall we? The football coach has a deal with a local car dealer who also happens to be a booster. Then the five-star recruit shows up on campus and immediately does an ad for the car dealer. Now we can all connect the dots here, right? The NCAA has established guardrails which include endorsement is a genuine payment for use of NIL, not a disguised form of pay for play with contingencies, compensation for participation, or inducement in recruiting to select a certain school. Endorsement is for genuine use of NIL, independent of athletic participation or performance, rather than payment for participation or performance. Once again, sure. Given the NCAA's inability to police the laws currently on the books, how the hell are they going to police this? And I think while we're over here still being adults, we understand that money changes hands now. It simply does. This at least allows this piece of it to be above board. That's good. But the five-star recruit who's locked in the middle of a battle between two big-time programs is going to want to know, what's the path to endorsements going to look like when I get to school there? And does anybody believe that they won't be a disguised form of pay for play? Well, of course they will. Now, none of this troubles me because it already happens. And this also means that student athletes across the board have a path to money they shouldn't be denied. And it won't just be limited to those five-star athletes either. The clever kid with a good idea who is going to, as the NCAA loves to point out, go pro in something else is going to get a head start using his or her entrepreneurial spirit. And they should be allowed to do it. So in review, it's coming, it's not here yet, and it's entirely unpoliceable, which isn't a word, but it's what it will be. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.